Good morning. So Sarah Jane here from Fit Fanny Adams, and I just wanted to have just a quick chat about glute activation, which is a bit of a hot topic at the moment. So many people know that as a result of our lifestyles now, or certainly postnatally, people with recurrent back pain, those types of conditions, we tend to often get a muscle imbalance going on within our core, which might result in our glutes, our buttocks, being a lot less intuitively firing and activating when we're doing basic things like standing, walking, and then also obviously exercising. So what this means, which is the critical thing, is it puts an extra loading onto different muscles in the rest of our bodies. Often particularly our quads will start doing an awful lot of work, or our hamstrings will start doing a lot of work. So those people who get a lot of cramping in their hamstrings when they're doing things like squats or hip bridges, possibly want to look at how much you're activating their glutes versus those muscles. So what often happens is people then suddenly say, right, well, I know my glutes aren't firing, so I'm going to go to glute activation exercises, which are things like your hamstring, your hip bridges and your clams and those types of moves. But what's quite interesting is getting lulled and seeing how many people get lulled into a false sense of, oh, well, I'm doing that exercise and therefore that muscle has to be activating. Quite often when I'm in class with ladies, or doing one-to-one work with ladies, is seeing how even though they're doing the exercise that on paper, anatomically it should be firing those muscles, actually we're still not getting a really good contraction in them. So I was just going to have a little moment of getting some focus on the buttocks this morning to see whether or not yours are also firing, or if they are still middle of the summer holidays. Right, so we're going to start with a simple hip bridge, which everyone who comes into my studio knows that we love to do a lot of, because it really does work the core really hard and activate that posterior chain nicely. But we're going to have to switch it on. We're going to have to mindfully switch it on. So just bring your feet flat. You want your feet about hip width apart. Lift those toes up. Splay those toes so you're really anchoring down the full width of the foot. Make sure that the pressure now is equal from the front to the back. Just start to become aware of the ankles and just start to feel yourself lifting up and out of the foot. So you're not rolling onto the outside edge, but we're just starting to awaken the ankle. Just become aware now of where the knees are. The knees want to be over the heels, not too far back so that we've got the knee in front of the ankle, but you just want to have it sort of a nice vertical straight above the heel. So we've now got the knees about hip width apart, so I could probably fit something like a Jaffa orange between my knees. And I just want to make sure that my lower back is pushed into the mat. So I've just got that pelvic neutral position here. So here, what we would typically do is say, right, now we're going to come up into a hip bridge. But what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you just to pause now. Take a nice breath into the belly. Just engage your core, so zip up from that tailbone down to the umbilicus. And now we're just going to apply downward pressure through the knees and into the heel. Okay? So as we're doing that, I want you to start to think where and what is happening in the lower body. So are you really pushing down with your quads to get that push down? Or are you trying to push back with the back of the hamstrings? Or are you actually working the glutes? So don't worry about correcting at this stage. Start just to become aware of what's happening. So now let's relax everything off again. Let's re-engage. Now let's just, as we're re-engaging that core, give the butt cheeks a bit of a squeeze. So have a little table tennis between the butt cheeks, activate and release. Now reactivate those butt cheeks, both of them, get that core engaged, and we're not moving yet, but all we're doing is we're keeping those butt cheeks engaged as now we push down through the knees and into the heel. So now you should really feel those butt cheeks working and releasing. Okay, so now we're going to set that core, tuck that bottom under, activate those butt cheeks, feel that tension down the back of the leg, from the butt down into the back of the leg and into the heel. And now we're going to increase that tension in the core as we keep really activating, get those butt cheeks working to bring the hips up. We're going to take a belly breath in here. Engage the core again completely. Now, here's the thing. reactivate that butt, get it working, get a little extra lift, and keep that butt working as we come down. So it's very easy to switch off the glutes as we come back down and rely on the quads and the hamstrings. So we're going to take a breath in, engaging, get that chain working, get those butt cheeks waking, and exhale coming up. Take a breath in, engage again here. Now tuck that bottom under slightly, really activate those glutes, and now we're going to lengthen the spine as we come down. So we're taking the tailbone as close to the heel as we can, and unrolling. Taking a breath in, engaging, tucking under, activating those glutes all the way up. You might need to give them a prod. And coming up, take a breath in here. Re-engaging, tucking that tailbone, feel the glutes working, lengthening that spine as we come down. This time we're not going to go all the way down. We're going to keep it about 1 inch off the floor. Take a breath. Reset. I'm going to exhale, curl, and come up. So just become aware of the knees. We want to make sure the knees stay over the ankles. Take a breath in. Engage. Now we're going to come up a bit more. So engage that butt cheek. Bring the hips up. Take a breath in. Engage that core. Use that butt to lift up. Take a breath in. Engage. Exhale, really lifting, feeling the glutes working, coming up, and then lengthening slowly all the way down. Just bring the knees into the chest just to give it a little loosen and stretching out. And if you want to, you can bring one ankle over the opposite knee. Bring the hands around the back of that knee and just bring the knees into the chest just to stretch out each glute. The back of the thigh, piriformis, it's lovely at opening up the back there. So there we have it, just a really simple way that if you know that you tend to have, don't activate your glutes, if you feel that your butt is somewhat sloping and slipping away, it's a good way to get everything back up and working. Any questions, as ever, just drop me a message. Feel free to get in touch and share this with anyone who you think might benefit.